All right, hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Reeled In. It is 12:48 a.m. Honestly, I couldn't sleep, and I just wanted to do a podcast. I felt like the subject was on my heart. Before we get started, I just wanted to apologize for not showing my face. I just don't have the equipment to film properly due to a change of venue. I've been moving back and forth, and once I get a place to settle down, this show will be a little bit more pleasing to watch. So, in the meantime, just sit back, relax, and enjoy. Man, it's a pretty quiet night right now. But yeah, I had this whole thing about New Year's resolution. New Year. Was it resolution? New Year's resolution. I don't know what I got resolution from, but New Year's resolution. And I know one thing with me, I know I wanted my New Year's resolution was to enter in more festivals. I think I'm only entered in one. The one I entered in, I won Best Screenplay, and it was for actually one of my first like really good films I've done, called Le Reverence, and it was about this ballet dancer who's battling a disease. I'll leave the link in the description below for you guys to watch that. But this episode, I titled this episode, I think it was pretty clever. If you believe it or not, I feel like it's pretty clever. But it's getting the real turning. Get it? Because it's reeled in, getting the real turning. And I kind of wanted to tell you guys my filmmaking journey, and also how you guys can get started. Maybe you're a teenager and you just feel like, man, I want to do film, but I just don't know how to get started. And trust me, I've been there, and it sucks just to know that you feel like you have no way of learning or adapting to the life of filmmaking. So other than that, let's get started. So it's 2018, and maybe you have a New Year resolution to start your filmmaking career. Maybe you have that idea that you never got started on, or maybe you haven't saved up for the new camera that you wanted, or maybe, just maybe, you never really started actually filmmaking, and you have no clue how to get started. And trust me, I've been there. Well, luckily you came to the right podcast. Today I'm going to give you tips to get the real turning and tell you my filmmaking journey. My filmmaking journey started out as a kid in New Orleans, Louisiana. I couldn't remember if it was Christmas or my birthday, but I have gotten a Hot Wheels camcorder. This thing was awesome. It wasn't a camcorder that you can take around the world with, but you can only see it if you plugged into the TV, and it had like this little box. And I guess, if it was poor connection between the box and the camcorder, it would get all fuzzy and lose connection. And it only shot in black and white. But I will grab my little sister and every actor I can find, which at the time was my action figures. And I will film until that VHS tape was full. And I will watch it. I will show my family and my friends, and then I would tape over that same VHS, and I would do it again and again and again and again. And from that moment, I knew I wanted to be a filmmaker. From then on, I wanted to know everything about it. I got books, I watched a lot of movies, and I looked at the bonus features on every VHS and DVD that came my way. As I grew up, I decided I wanted to be more serious about it. But I knew I couldn't use the same Hot Wheels camcorder, so it was my senior year in high school. And I got a job at this bowling alley that was down the street, and I hated that place. I hated that place. But anyway, back to the subject. I bought my first camera, and it was $600. It was the Canon T3i. I have used that camera since it was 2012. I've got rid of it finally last year. 2017, I upgraded to a Panasonic G7. And yeah, and I was so in love with that camera. I've used that camera all during senior year. I made like this cool little videos for all during senior year to help out, help my senior year be more memorable. So I did all like these little projects, and my first editing software I used was Sony Vegas. And yeah, that's pretty much the beginning, the genesis of my filmmaking career. Did I say Genesis right? I hope I did. Oh man, I'm so tired. It's just now hitting me. I'm in the middle of this podcast now. I'm tired, but I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going. But my first tip, I would say, man, make sure you're passionate about it, because filmmaking it's gonna take a lot of passion to get through. Later on in your career, you can tell the difference between like your passion projects and the ones you weren't so passionate about. Passion is literally what make the project follow through, and the job of the director is to spread this passion amongst the other crew members. And I know, and you will know in the future that it's kind of hard to be passionate about an idea that's not yours. And 9 times out of 10, you shouldn't be working on that thing. If thing is, you have to understand the vision, and that's how I feel like, in my opinion, I feel like your work will be more effective on someone else's set. But yeah, just make sure you're just passionate about it. Gotta love it. I highly doubt there's someone like, man, I'll just make Hollywood movies just to put bread on the table. I mean, 9 times out of 10, I mean, don't get me wrong. Yeah, of course they're gonna love the money, but I'm pretty sure it started out with a passion for film. So the next tip I have right here, sorry, I'm looking through my notes. Knowledge. I'll be the first to say that the lack of knowledge about filmmaking scared the crap out of me. Like, what the heck is a director? What's the difference between a producer or an executive producer? Or how can you remove Calvin Henry's beard from his face? Like, how do you do all this stuff? Like, I had no clue. Well, lucky for us, and lucky for you, it's 2018. You can literally look up anything you want to know on YouTube. You know who taught me filmmaking? If anything, what started out as quote unquote film school for me was Film Riot. I'll put the link in the description below. But yeah, it was Film Riot all the way down to DSLR Guide. Those were the channels that taught me much about filmmaking as I could possibly do at that age or at that time. There's plenty of YouTube channels that teaches you about filmmaking, and that's just one thing that you got to do. You just got to put in the research. And hey, maybe you don't have internet. How you listening to this podcast? I don't know, but maybe you don't have internet, or maybe you just don't want to look at. Maybe those are not doing it for you. Then another alternative is going to your local library, get you a book. There are plenty of filmmaking books. There's probably more filmmaking books than there are videos. My favorite one I can name off the top of my head is the Filmmaking Handbook, and I love it. It literally tell you what's what, who's who. It's a step-by-step process of how movies are made, from low budget to big budget. It even tells you how to budget films and stuff like that, which is a really great thing to know. So yeah, there's plenty of books for you guys to read. Aside from tutorials and books, another great tip is to find a person in the industry that inspires you and research how they got started. Like, for example, for me, mine was Walt Disney. There was a time in my life I wanted to be a cartoonist, and I found out that I couldn't really draw. So there was another part of Walt Disney that I found out that he actually was into like live action film. And so I was just like really passionate about his journey, and it kind of inspired me, and that was the spark for me to like be more proactive with filmmaking. So yeah, man, find somebody that's in the industry. If you're a writer, find another writer. If you're a director, find a director. If you're a producer, find a producer. If you're an actor, find an actor. Just see how they got started, and let's see something that, and I'm not saying that follow exactly what they're doing, because that's their story and you have your story. But sometimes it's just really inspiring. Like, there's people from the industry that literally came from nothing and are big household names today. So yeah. All right, so the next tip I have, next little bullet point, please scroll down. Gear. it amazes me what we have access to in our very own pocket. You know, my iPhone 7, sorry, I don't have the 10 yet. I don't know. I don't even know if I even want the 10. But it shoots in 4K. Probably like, the latest phone shoots in 4K now. And that's awesome. Use your phone. If you don't have the money to get you a new camera, use your phone. You like literally like in this day and age, there's probably no excuse for like you can literally make a whole show through your phone. You know, but I mean, of course, you don't want to use your phone for it. But hey, what if you do have the money? Well, my best advice I would give you is to buy you a cash camera from whatever website. I'm saying cash camera. What I mean is cash camera is go on OfferUp, go on eBay, and if just don't spend an arm and a leg on a camera. Just don't try to, bust your butt trying to get, a $5,000 camera. I mean, just start off. First of all, you want to see if you even want to be a filmmaker. Trust me, you don't want to spend all this money and just like, you know what, I think I want to be a lawyer. That'll suck. Oh, another thing I wanted to talk about is editing software. Now there's plenty of editing software out there. So I use Final Cut and occasionally Premiere Pro, but we're going to talk about what you can use for free. Everybody loves the word free. Free is awesome. For whatever reason, food tastes the best when it's free. But if you have a Mac, iMovie is a perfect start to start learning about editing and how to rearrange clips and do certain tricks, editing tricks, through iMovie. And on Windows, there's Movie Maker. Movie Maker, actually, Sony Vegas was the first one I bought. Movie Maker was my first editing software I've ever used to make videos. And yeah, I mean, it was a good start for what I wanted to do, but other than that, yeah, it was it's pretty terrible. But other than but it was the old one. I'm not saying I haven't seen what iMovie can do. I'm sorry, not iMovie. I haven't seen what Movie Maker can do now. It probably can do so much more than what it did back in the day, really. But other than that, I mean, my point is there's free software that you could use. What I'm trying to get to is use what you have. There's plenty of resources. Don't have actors, you have friends. And if you don't have friends, buy some. It sounds terrible the way I'm saying it, but literally there's action figures. You can do stop motion, army figures and all this stuff. The point right now, what you want to do is you want to create. That's all you want to do. You want to create, you want to learn your equipment, you want to learn the craft. That's right now, that should be your goal. Your goal, not to be like, oh, I just want to have this idea and hopefully just $40 million is going to rain out of the sky and I'm going to make this blockbuster movie and I'm going to make tons of money. No, that's trust me, I've been there. I've literally sat there and thought like, yeah, this film is gonna go viral, and I don't get no more than like 20 views. I trust me, I've been there, and you just have to accept that you're a beginner, and it's okay to be beginner. Everybody's been a beginner. Steven Spielberg been a beginner. Trust me, he didn't come out his mom's womb and be like Jurassic Park. Everybody. At some point of every creator's life, they had a beginning. So, which leads me to my last point. Just do it. I mean, it's plain and simple. I wish it sounds cliche because I know Nike uses the heck out of that phrase, but it's true. You gotta just do it. You just have to get out there and you gotta film, edit, repeat. Film, edit, repeat. That's something I learned from Film Riot. Shout out to Film Riot, because that's very true. I literally had to film, edit, repeat. Like half of my films in the beginning didn't even have a storyline. I was literally just outside filming trees, life, people, cars passing by, and edited and put it to some cool music, learning new things like, oh man, if you can raise this up, put this down, it'll look like this. You just gotta keep on going until you see progress. You know, and then also learn from your mistakes. You're gonna have a lot of them, and it is okay. And have fun while doing it. Filmmaking's fun. It's supposed to be fun. Don't get me wrong. You are gonna like pull your hair out every occasionally, but that means you're working on something big, but or something not big. Trust me, that's it. It does happen. There are bad days in filmmaking, and it's not just all Oscars and red carpets. Trust me, there's a lot of hair pulling to make those movies. But yeah, trust me. But filmmaking it doesn't come to you. It doesn't. You know, especially not lying in bed wishing. Like, I ever watched a basketball game and the goal just runs up to you and like, hey, put it in here. You know, it never happens. Never. You have to go out there and you have to create. And they will look like crap. You won't know it until later. Trust me, I look at my films and like, man, I made this. I'm so much better now. And, you know, and it's okay. I find it quite fascinating to see progress. My progress, at least. And other people's progress. And I'm pretty sure you will find it fascinating to see your progress, too. Yeah, trust me. Filmmaking is trial and error. And you will make a lot of errors. And that's okay. Don't beat yourself up for it. Here's another thing. And I'm going to leave this and I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Focus on you. I think that was a big thing with me growing up. As I was continuing, because I would look at other filmmakers and I'm like, man, he had a better camera. You know, he can do this, he can do that. Focus on you, because you're not there yet, and that's okay. You just have to keep going. You gotta keep learning. You gotta keep on going. Create, film, edit, repeat. I hope I don't get sued for saying film writer's phrase, but it's true. It's the truest thing. It's the realest thing. So yeah, just gotta get up and go and keep on going. And everything I talked about today, if I mentioned any books or any video, any channels or anything, they are in the description below. So make sure you check those out. Thank you guys again. Thank you for listening. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you really like this channel, no pun intended, click the subscribe button. Thank you guys so much. Have a good day or good night, good morning, whenever you're listening to this channel. Yeah, oh my God, it's 1:10. I really need to go to bed. So thank you guys. Have a good one.